Hello guys, this is Terry from Genki Gaming TV coming back at you with another Yokai Watch ShadowSide review. Today's episode, which was episode 27, and wow, we are 27 episodes in. That is a huge accomplishment for any series. It's today's episode, or yesterday's episode, however you want to say it, is Samayo Edu Komajiro, or Wandering Comajiro. And this episode starts off with an entirely new intro song, an entirely new opening song that gives us hints to our future confrontation against Shutendoji, Doketsu, and Hime. It also gives us some hints at some other stuff as well. We see Vanok, we see a couple other yokai that we may or may not know that are, if you slow-mo it, you can kind of see stuff. Kind of like forming around, or really in the cusp of moving forward with the series. But yeah, I can't get over how good that intro was, and plus our little opening scene of our beginning crime scene with the lady in business attire and Shadow Komajiro, and her being completely freaked out. It's like, it's not every day when a wickedly long frogman attacks you. Because apparently that's where Comajiro actually is. But let's go on here. The series truly opens up this episode with Akinori looking at a picture album or a photo album, whatever you want to call it. It can be called a scrapbook as well, but it shows pictures of Akinori when he was smaller, even a baby picture, and a picture of a cute girl falls out. Obviously, we the viewers know that that's Akinori's grandma, but Akinori doesn't know, and Akinori kind of falls in like with her, and even has a daydream about running in a field with her, using his Omioji powers to make a heart and send it at her. She does the same thing. Her heart attack misses him, but his hits her, and she's like, "You've captured my heart," or something along those lines, or "You have my heart." But as it all goes on, he's walking around the front yard or front area of the temple, and the scene that kind of intersects with this is Keisuke walking to the temple. He notices some water coming down. He's like, "Oh, it must be rain." And there's even a small rainbow. He looks up and it's Komasan taking a leak. Very classic Komasan here. Not your run-of-the-mill "oh my swirls." Komasan was letting it go, unleashing it. But after Keisuke was grossed out and got dried up, Akinori basically runs into Natsume, Toma, and Keisuke, and they start talking while they're getting everything dried up. And then Akinori's grandmother comes by, and Akinori has the picture of the girl behind his back, and she keeps saying, I think she was saying what Washiki, or she was saying the old version of me, or I, or this is me. You don't really hear it too often in modern Japanese. I think it's like a polite old term, or old Japanese for me or I. Something I've only heard a couple times, and I've been learning Japanese for about 3 years. I'm still relatively novice with my hearing skills, but that's besides the point. It's something rarer than Watashi, boku, ore, watashiku, something along those lines. She was referring to herself, and then Akinori has the same daydream again, and then poof, it's Obasan, and his life is shattered right before his eyes. His dream world has become a nightmare world, and he becomes scribbled up and laying there on the floor. And then she starts talking about the past. We get a flashback of adorable Komasan, who's just so fluffy and small and wonderful. And we also kind of get a little bit of an inference to Comajiro. And as this is all going on, they decide to go look at the gravesite of both Komasan and Komajiro, and they notice that there's a hole that maybe Komajiro had become a yokai. So everyone thinks it's a dog, but Komajiro is not a dog, because obviously, wouldn't he be a dog? No. ShadowSide breaks all logic established by anything. One day you're a dog, now you're a cute little frog. And they basically explore, walk around looking for him. We even get a nice flashback of Komasan as a yokai looking for Komajiro and being unable to find him. They give no context why it took Comajiro so long to become a yokai. What I'm thinking is his soul kind of ascended and then became kind of trapped during the ascension to the spirit world, because obviously in yokai logic, your spirit goes somewhere if it doesn't become a yokai. So as we're going further into this, they go to the lake, they see some rustling in the grass, and then cute little Comajiro pops out. I half want to call him Koma Kaedu, which is like the ribbit song, or I think Kaedu is the sound a frog makes, because I'm not good with animals in Japanese, and I apologize for that. Wait, Kaedu is what a frog is, so I'm not entirely sure what ribbit is. So now I'm even more perplexed and wanting to Google stuff than ever. But let's keep going on here. Basically, they scoop up our new little friend, Koma Frog. Yes, I'm gonna call him Koma Kaedu, which could mean Koma go home, but that's besides the point. Let's just go on here. So Komajiro, Komasan, and the gang head back to the temple. We get a flashback of how they died. Basically, one of the Komain statues fell on them, crushing them. And this was caused by Akinori's grandmother as a young Miko, or shrine maiden, practicing her shrine maiden slash Omioji style techniques, basically converting the spiritual energy into the little star and then aiming it at a target. Basically, the wind swept it, her aim was slightly off to begin with, and it hit the statue, causing it to fall. And it had been so bitterly cold that she just went home after that happened, and she claimed that that was going to be her last attempt at doing it for that day. She came back, the statue was back up, but was positioned differently, so she thought maybe the wind moved it. At least that's what we are inferring from context there, that someone put it back up on the pedestal. But basically what happened was, I believe it was Yoshisune, was summoned yet again, making 2 appearances in the episode to be an investigator. And they basically tracked down that Akinori's grandmother was the Hanin, or the culprit. Comajiro got mad and began attacking Akinori's grandmother, who in an all epic grandmother anime style projected a gigantic shield out of spiritual energy, and she had her own, I guess what I'd call it is like a spirit guardian, and it was herself, like an astral projection. And basically this scene, this exchange of attacks between, well, Akinori's grandmother really didn't attack, she more or less protected, but this gives us a general idea of how viable Akinori himself is going to be, that astral spirit projection and use of spiritual energy to create a dome shielding yourself. And this dome took Komasan's attack, it took Komajiro's attack before finally shattering. And I've been trying to figure out what the weight of Komasan's attack would be in ShadowSide. Basically the stone Komane. And I can't figure out size versus weight complexity for it. But I figure it's a lot of weight because it looks more solid, more firm. Same thing with Komajiro's frog statues, because we don't have any context like size for them, if they're actual size or not. Because from our perspective, looking at how Akinori's grandmother was shielding, we're still seeing the same general context of like a heavy statue falling down. So with that to truly be said, we could probably guess that the spiritual energy can really kind of oust or protect multiple people at the same time. At least that's what we can truly infer at this particular time. But let's go on. Akinori's grandmother apologized. Komajiro then had a cute scene with Komasan where he's like sitting on his back. They were happy to receive the apology, and basically everything began to shift back to normal, and we got a really wicked, awesome new closing scene as well. And apparently they have uploaded more arcs onto the Yokai Watch ShadowSide wiki, because I'm looking at tribes while I'm doing this, trying to get an idea for another secondary yokai video, just in case we do get a break for several months, like what people are hinting towards on the internet. Because I've read a couple places that we should be getting about a month's worth of a break in between episodes. Can't remember where I read that at, but it seems like it's like a pocket of time where there won't be any new ShadowSide content. They're not really too specific about it, but we're getting close to the point where we're going to be having our epic showdown. So Hime, Haruya, and Doketsu better prepare themselves, because the detective agency is coming. I don't know. The episode itself was a very solid A in my mind. It's not an A+ episode, but a very solid A. It's nearly perfect. I actually have no complaints, no quarrels, no gripes with the episode itself whatsoever. But ShadowSide Comajiro is a tiny bit strange, but I don't hate it. I kind of like it, that is contextually different. The only thing that I feel like is missing is a Hime and Haruya scene, maybe them preparing something. Because I would kind of like to see them opening a portal to the yokai world and basically getting some troops ready, because our opening now kind of gets us ready and prepared, and that we know a battle is coming. It would be nice if on our villain side there's some sort of an additional build-up. I still believe Doketsu is going to turn on Shudendoji, maybe stab him in the back. I really feel like something along those lines are going to happen, either by Hime's force of hand, because for all we know she really is the Spider-Woman, or like a Black Widow of sorts in the situation, where she's pulling the strings or the web in the situation. And maybe Haruya, as Shudendoji gets in the way slightly, and she's meaning to have Doketsu being controlled by her attack someone, but for some reason, positioning wise, Shudendoji gets in the way and gets stabbed by his sword. I really feel like something like that is going to happen. Because in all honesty, Toma's going to collect all of the swords. So Doketsu having his and not being aligned with Toma is a tiny bit strange. Or all of these Enma-style yokai not being aligned with Furumiyo seems like something that's contextually a little bit silly. But we'll see what all goes on. I want to thank everyone for watching and for supporting the videos. And I hope you all have a wonderful morning, afternoon, and or evening. Bye for now.